So here we are, munching our way through biscuits with our coffee as we wait on our departure from Turkey to fly to the US to see Keenan, Brooke and the grandchildren. As we've mentioned before, it's been more than 3 years for me, more than 2 years for Roy, and the anticipation is mounting. Anything to say, Mr. Roy?
Woohoo!
So he was going to have something more to say than woohoo. Apparently I'm wigging him out because I'm so hyper at the moment with excitement.
So to keep ourselves busy, since time seemed to be dragging while we waited for our flight to the US, we enjoyed our weekly trip to the Saturday market, and on this occasion we encountered what we thought was some sort of primary school sports day, where the school band was playing and numerous children were performing synchronized exercises, dressed in very colourful outfits or using very colourful theoretical hand properties. We later discovered it was National Sovereignty and Children's Day, celebrated every year since the 23rd of April 1927, to celebrate the establishment of Parliament and to recognise that children are the future of this nation, thus becoming the first country in the world to celebrate an official Children's Day. To mark the occasion, schools participate in week-long ceremonies, including these performances on sports fields, and classrooms are also decorated with flags, balloons and handmade ornaments. Next up was our first bus trip, which we took with Kay and Lane off Mai Tai. We were heading to Kaş, a seaside town in southwestern Turkey, and what a great outing it was. We had, however, picked one of the busiest travel days for this particular adventure, given that it was a Friday and the last weekend before Hari Raja Adil Fitri, the day that marks the end of Ramadan, when everyone was returning to their hometowns to spend the celebrations with family. As a result, there was standing room only on the bus and not a mosque in sight. Thankfully, a very nice young man, after hearing I would have difficulty standing for the 2-hour journey, said something in Turkish, and at least 10 people stood up to offer me their seat, and one at an open window, for which I was extremely grateful. Fortunately, at the first stop in Demri, the bus emptied out, leaving plenty of seats for everyone. Not only were the scenery and views along the coastal road spectacular, as the bus negotiated all the switchbacks, but a fabulous treat awaited us. Lunch was enjoyed on the terrace of a little restaurant overlooking the harbour, but not before we stopped for a morning coffee, then strolled around the little town. We did, however, have an additional guest at our table while we had coffee, which forced Elaine to sit at the end of the table.
Today is April the 29th and we've taken a road trip by a bus into Kaş, which is further along the east coast of the Turkish Riviera, and we've just enjoyed a coffee and we are now exploring the town. So this is a walkway area, and you can see the town, the old town, set at the foothills of the mountains, and you can see the residential area that goes all the way up. It's absolutely stunning. The historic old town had the most beautiful buildings, garnished in flowers of various colours. It was the most stunning, quaint and historic little town, built on the slopes of the towering mountains that stood as a backdrop to the little town, overlooking spectacular seascapes. So we continue in our wanderings around Kaş, and really everywhere we look is just so quaint. A visit to the Tokyrya Art Gallery and Museum, the Kral Masari, which is the king's tomb, and the lion tomb were fascinating, but the highlight
was the Hellenistic theatre of the ancient city of Antiphalos.
So this is the ancient city ruins of Antiphalos, I think is how you say it. And this is the ancient theatre. And quite honestly, it looks lovely. There's the views from up here that are worthwhile. And these are the views.
As we continued our wanderings around the town, there was definitely no shortage of lovely scenery to enjoy, as well as very quaint and unusual buildings.
Hemen kur sistemi.
That's crazy. That's like a roll.
It's a great day out in Krush. We're on our way back to Finiki. And we got to enjoy the spectacular views all over again on the journey back. Back in Finiki, we also visited this very quirky restaurant, one of the most popular restaurants in the town, and the food is delicious. In fact, the food has been so good, we've actually been back since. And this was a lovely surprise we spotted when we were out on an early morning walk. He's enjoying his breakfast. Just love turtles. Oh, he's having a good chomp. You going to come up?
So we needed about 100 litres of diesel, and unfortunately we weren't able to get the dinghy in the water before this yacht next to us filled the spot. So Roy carried a few diesel cans yesterday from the diesel dock, and rather than continue doing that, one of the cruisers here in the marina offered him 40 litres of diesel. Well, after we put it into our tanks, guess what we have? Not diesel at all, water. Now we're trying to polish the fuel to get it all out. Let's carry on. Can't trust anybody these days. So with less than a week to go before we fly, we're all packed and ready. Definitely very eager to be going. Haven't seen Keenan, Brooke and the grandkids and any of the family in Ireland, or friends for that matter, because of the pandemic. And this was our sole reason for coming through the Red Sea, so that we could get Pawpaw secure, leave her and head to the US and then on to Ireland and then on to England to see everybody. So we're definitely very excited and hope all goes well.